Welcome back, simple syrupers. Sip, sip, sip. Okay, so we've made it to the last section. We've gone through the spirit path, we've gone through the soul path, we've gone through the emotional conscious path. Now it's time for roll in bed. Dun dun dun. I ended with this because this was the question that began it all. Who are you in the bedroom? Because that's initially what someone's asking when they're asking if you're a top or bottom, the male or the female. They're just trying to figure out who's getting inserted. And unfortunately, that's how society gives answers because no one ever has taken the time to give answers. So, any questions you have, I'm trying to give the answers to. I do like to say that everything that I have written, it does apply to all sexes. It applies to everyone. But I am primarily focusing on gay men because I feel that they right now have no guidance in what they need to be with, how they should love themselves versus who they've been with and how they think they should love themselves. So the last section is roll in bed, how we like to take control. Because initially and essentially, that's all a bedroom role is how you like to control in that sphere of, that section of whatever. Um, so I went on to say, this section is pretty self-explanatory. Regardless of your sexual orientation, your role in bed determines neither the type of partner you should seek. Again, your role in bed should not determine the type of partner you should seek, nor is your purpose in a relationship the type of bedroom position you are. Um, we've all heard the phrase "classy in the streets, but freak in the sheets." This phrase describes someone who really may be shy and reserved in daily life, but wild and adventurous during sensual or sexual activities. Trying to date solely based off of roles in bed will not guarantee a healthy relationship, but it will aid in a one night stand. In a stable relationship, though, knowing your role in bed is a key element to retaining desire and excitement. But not knowing your role in bed does not necessarily make or break your relationship because these roles can be learned, developed, and enjoyed in new ways. Knowing only your role won't help you to find your match, but it may help you to get close to the type of partner you desire. A lot of times people do cheat, and unfortunately that's not cool, but this is that moment of you need to know what type of control you like in the bedroom so therefore you don't venture off. Because if you knew that from the get-go, you would have looked for that and stuck with that. So I always say, learn yourself before you go learn somebody else. Okay. So basically, these are the very simple explanations for a top. I could say that's the giver. This is the person who usually and almost always directs the foreplay and sex. In a heterosexual pairing, the giver is the man by anatomical default, wah, wah. But it can also refer to the more dominant bedroom persona of the two people. Example being an aggressive straight woman or two women together. With gay or transgender men, it's an additional variable, but we're able to decide if we want to be a top only. So that is a discretion. That is a decision. That's not a I was born top. No, you make the choice to be a top, so that's okay. Because if that's how you control, baby, that's how you control. Um, I also want to go on to what a bottom is. That is simply a receiver. Doesn't mean you're the girl, doesn't mean you're the woman, doesn't mean you're the wife, doesn't mean you're the bitch. It just means that you're the receiver. Because I have met a lot more masculine, per se, men who are bottoms. So that destroys that whole little, I guess, stereotype right there that bottoms are the bitches. Like, that's silly. That's a silly term. But, anywho, the person who is the bottom is usually and almost always willing to be taken charge of during sexual encounters. In a heterosexual pairing based off of outdated standards, the woman would be the receiver in a traditional sense. In this case, she would want to seek a more dominant man who likes to take control. But if the woman is more of a top, then she would want to seek out a male receiver or a more submissive man. For gay men and women and transgender men and women, they would determine their roles based off of preference. So it's still the same thing. Um, your sexual position is a preference. It doesn't determine anything. So please stop dating based on that. The last and the most glorious one, which I love, is the versatile bottom and the top, or giver and receiver. This is my favorite role because it can be most adventurous this way, allowing both parties the opportunity to experience a full range of sensations and desires. One is who versatile, understands the need for variety, and is willing to be whatever one's heart desires. In a moment of a hedonistic lust, just give it to me. If you are this role, you are both able to explore your own sexual fantasies and expound on your partner's kinky side in the process. Or even a better scenario, you both reverse no, in which case you both should take the day off because you're going to need a lot of time to rest. And get that bottled water, girl. It's going to be a long one. So now, I like to leave with a little side note. I always say, you have to know you first. None of this matters what I've talked about. Your spirit, your soul, your emotional conscious, your role in bed. None of this matters if you don't know yourself. Learn to love yourself. It's so important to do this. It's so, so important. Because if you go out into the world trying to date somebody and don't know who the hell you are, and they're ready and open to be vulnerable to you, and then you decide later, oh, it's not what I really like, not only are you setting back karma, but you're breaking someone's heart and making them become jaded and bitter. And unfortunately, that has been the way that gay men have been taught to love. I'm going to screw you over until I can find what I want. And in the meantime, you just deal with it. And it makes for a very destructive relationship. It makes for a very destructive mindset. And I don't want to see any more of our gay men going out there objectifying themselves, excuse me, in a sexual manner. It's not necessary. You don't have to be someone's boy toy or house boy or sugar daddy or any of these things that don't validate who you are because, again, the value of love wasn't taught to us. So I'm starting here in the day to teach it. We're all going to get it under our belts because, damn it, this next generation is not going to be out here being messy. It's not necessary. Now, don't get wrong, messy fun. But in moderation. So, as Miss RuPaul says, if you can't love yourself, how you going to ever love somebody else? And I always say you never go into any relationship as a half trying to create a whole. Know who you are. Know your partner. You should both be complete people coming into this because you're creating a true balance, which is yin and yang. You know, one is the sun, one is the moon, the father and the mother. It's always that balance of right here. We have to have that balance. You know, it's important. Here's the roots growing down deep into the earth. Here's the soil, and here's the sun, and the tree is just growing taller and taller towards the sky because you need both. That seed needs to be planted and broken, and then after it's broken, it becomes something bigger and better. So it's always important to really love and understand yourself. I wish the best for you all. If you have any questions, please post on the video, leave comments. I don't mind. I will answer. If you're rude or nasty, you ain't getting no replies, so you do you. But I'm here to be positive. So I hope this has been helpful. And now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the chart. So go ahead and check out that last video. Thanks, guys.